Right, boys and girls, welcome to the Chapter 4 test refresher or remediation in case you didn't do as hot as you thought you might on the last test. Of course, it's okay, you know, it's all right. Just take that into consideration. It's okay. This is how you learn. Consider it a learning opportunity, okay? So this unit was long, okay? It started out by factoring. And again, remember anytime you see an equal sign that you are solving, okay? So starting each by factoring. Remember, factors in negative 40, that equaled the negative 3. I'm thinking negative 5 and 4. No, that won't work. Neither of those are 40, Mr. Dvorsky. Anyway, how about negative 8 and positive 5? Yeah, that's sounding better. Okay, so x minus 8. And then x plus 5, that equals 0. Remember, if you're solving, that's when you split in half and you set each side equal to 0. So x simply, if you add 8 over, would equal 8, or x equals negative 5. That's all I was looking for. Some students took it to this point and stopped. Those are your correct answers. 2, right down below. Factors that get to negative 13, they're both going to have to be negative 7 and negative 6. I believe those will get us there. That means we have x minus 7 and x minus 6 set equal to 0. We're solving, okay? X equals positive 7 and x equals positive 6. You don't even need to write the positive part down. Okay, so those are both the answers for that. If you want to pause and give these two a try, you are factoring still. Okay, just remember you have 2x and x, and then you have maybe negative 7 and positive 1, or positive 7 and negative 1, trying to find the matching pair. 2x times 7 would be 14x, x times negative 1, negative x. Those will get you the 13. Remembering to write that properly. So 2x, x, 2x is going to the positive 7 and the negative 1. Set equal to 0. We're still solving. So 2x minus 1 equal to 0. I would add 1 over. And then finish it off by dividing by 2. X equals 1/2. Or if I just subtract 7, x equals negative 7. So x equals 1/2, x equals negative 7. Okay, both your answers for those. The last of the factoring type. Oh boy, this might be a challenging one. First, try and remove a GCF, but there is none. Okay, so let's look at 5x and 2x. You could also think of 10x and 1x. But let's see where those get us. We have a lot of factors for this here. Negative 3 and positive 2. Let's see. 5 times negative 3. Or positive 3 and negative 2. That would probably be the better choice. Okay, 5x times negative 3, or positive 3, is 15x. 2x times negative 2 is negative 4x. Combined give you the 11. Okay, so looks like 5x, 2x, 5x is going to positive 3 and to negative 2 equals 0. Setting each equal to 0, if we add 2 over and divide by 5, we have x equals 2/5. If we subtract 3 over and then divide by 2, x equals negative 3/2. Okay, that was the name of the game, and I did ask that you factored a few of them. The quadratic equation. I believe you had a note card allowing you to use that, and you should have written the quadratic equation down on it. Okay, which for the most part, plugging things in wasn't too bad. A is 3, B is 10, C is negative 5. Okay, so B squared is actually negative B. What are you doing, Mr. D? Negative B plus or minus square root B squared So negative 10 plus or minus square root 100 minus 4 times 3 times negative 5, okay, all over 2 times 3. Simplifies out, negative 10 plus or minus square root of 100 plus, get my calculator out, 4 times 3 times negative 5, 60, all over 6. That would reduce 10 plus or minus square root of 160 over 6. And again, simplify all square roots. 160 is the same as 16 times 10. And that would be negative 10 plus or minus 4 roots of 10 all over 6. And the last step would be to reduce the 10 and the 6 and the 4 and the 6. Okay, they can both reduce by 5, so negative 5 plus or minus 2 roots of 10 all over 3. Okay, that particular part, reducing, was one of the more challenging things. To use the quadratic for this one, you have to get the 6 over first. So 2x squared minus x plus 6 equals 0. This one, again, a is going to be 2, b is negative 1, and c is 6. So we have opposite of negative 1, so 1 plus or minus square root b squared, so negative 1 squared is 1, minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times 2. Simplify that out, 1 plus or minus square root 1 minus 4 times 2 times 6, negative 47. All over 4. Let's see if any perfect squares go into 47. I don't believe there are any, but one thing to pay attention to, the negative. Okay, 1 plus or minus I roots of 47 all over 4. Some students forgot that I, so don't do that, please. Last one here, already in standard form, still want to use the quadratic. A equals 5, b equals 2, c equals 5, negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4 times a times c, okay, all over 2 times a, negative 2 plus or minus square root 4 minus 4 times 5 times 5, 100, oh boy, all over 10. That will be also known as negative 2 plus or minus square root negative 96 all over 10. If you see an even number, most likely it's going to be divisible by something, at least 2. Let's try some other perfect squares. Let's see, is negative 96 divided by 4? It sure is. Negative 24. Is it divisible by anything else? Negative 96 divided by 16. It's also divisible by 16. So square root of 16 and square root of 6. The negative tells me I. Okay, so we have a few things going on. Negative 2 plus or minus square root of 16 is just going to be 4. I is next. Roots of 6 all over 10. And the last thing you can do is reduce the 2 and the 10 and the 4 and the 10. Okay, so we can reduce those by 2, negative 1 plus or minus 2i roots of 6 all over 5. That is the best way to do the answer. One type that's not on this particular case, say we have the square root. Say we had negative 2 plus or minus square root of 169 all over 2. Now, what some of you forgot to do, okay, is negative 2 plus or minus 13 all over 2. Then, if that number comes out to be regular, or regular whole number, you can just do negative 2 plus 13 over 2, in which case you'd have 11 over 2 as a solution, or negative 2 minus 13 over 2, in which case you'd have negative 15 halves as your solution. Some of you I asked that you reduced and simplified. That's what would happen in that particular case. Okay. Simplify completely, recalling I squared is negative 1. Okay. Well, first, if we're adding, you're just adding the like terms. So 4 and 2 is 6. 3i plus 4i is 7i. That's it. Okay. Multiplying is a little different. This time we have good old FOIL. First is 16. Outers plus 12i. Inners minus 12i. Lasts minus 9i squared. So that's minus 9 times negative 1, or plus 9. These are going to cancel, and I still have the 16. 16 plus 9 is 25. Okay, some of you mixed up, I think, the I squareds. 10, when we are finding conjugates to get rid of the imaginary in the basement. 2i all over 7 plus 2i. Distribute the numerator, so it's 28 plus 8i all over 49 minus 4i squared, or 49 plus 4, so 28 plus 8i all over 53. That's what that one would come out to be. No imaginaries in the denominator. Okay, write a quadratic equation for the given values. Intercepts. If you're using intercepts, that was a x minus p and x minus q. Intercepts would be, this would be your p, that would be your q, this is x, this is y. Okay, substituting everything in. 6 equals, remember, a is the thing we're trying to solve for. 2 minus negative 2. 2 minus 3, that's negative 1. 2 minus negative 2 is 4. A and 6. So we have 6 is equal to negative 4 times a. Our a value would be 6 over negative 4, or negative 3 halves. Okay, negative 3 halves equals a. What I asked is that you write an equation. Okay, this is your equation. Y equals negative 3 halves, and then you'd have x plus 2 and x minus 3. That is the equation. Okay, vertex, and these forms were given to you. A x minus h squared plus k. X, y, h, k. 6 is equal to a, we're not sure, but we know negative 1 minus negative 5 squared minus 1. 6 is equal to a times negative 1 plus 5, which is 4 squared minus 1. You have options to solve for a here. Let's add the 1 over. So we have 7 is equal to a times 16. If we divide each side by 16, a is equal to 7/16. Now, that being said, your equation, though, is y equals 7/16 times quantity x plus 5 squared minus 1. That is what I was looking for. Okay, then the word problems. Again, if you're finding maximum or minimum, that was negative b over 2a. That was to find the vertex. That's all you're doing, and then finding the right units. I did take points off, maybe a half a point or one if you forgot several units. But maximum height. So I'm going to start with my vertex. Negative b all over 2 times negative 0.01. Typing all that in my calculator. Negative 7 divided by 2 times negative 0.01. I get 350. Okay, now that's the x-coordinate of the vertex. If I substitute that back in, then I'll get the other part of my vertex. So I put that back in for x, negative 0.01 times 350 squared, don't forget to square it, plus 7, I'm doing this on my calculator, times 350, okay, plus 350 equals 1575. 1575. Okay. Now, when you're doing these, it's important to look at the units. Okay. X is the time in seconds. So this is seconds. Y is the height in feet. This is feet. The first part is what's the maximum height of the rocket. I'm not going to put seconds for that. I'm going to put the 1575 feet. Okay, imagine our rocket going up. Here it is at 1,575 feet. How long does it take the rocket to reach that? That is your 350 seconds. Okay, those two parts. Pablo's Pools makes custom swimming pool covers. Recent customer has ordered a cover that is to be 4,200 square feet. Has a length 10 feet more than its width. Okay, 10 feet more than its width. If we were to draw these, its width is maybe here. X plus 10 would be its length. So I know length is x plus 10. Width is x. Area is 4,200. Okay, area equals length times width. So 4,200 equals length x plus 10 times width x. If we distribute, we have x squared plus 10x equals 4,200. We can bring that 4,200 to the other side, and we have x squared plus 10x minus 4,200 equals 0. Trying to think of factors that get us out to that. I'm going to think 60 and 70, positive 70, negative 60. So x minus 60, x plus 70 equals 0. Solving these, we have that the width is either positive 60 or the width is negative 70. Well, this does not make any sense to have a negative width. So our width is 60. 60 feet is the width. It just so happens that this other 70 is the length. So 70 feet then is the length. Because if we take the 60 and we add 10, that's how we get it. Okay? That is the remediation. Okay, I think most of those problems cover what we talked about. If you have further questions, of course, please ask. But I'm expecting that you watch these and that you come in with this page completed. You should have just about everything from here. Okay? So again, learning opportunity, and we will continue from there. I'll try and see about a test retake or anything like that for you. Thanks for watching. Have a nice rest of your day.